Last time on Rainmakers, we explored the powerful ways Andrew King is serving communities across Ontario. Today, we want to go deeper into Andrew's own journey. What led Andrew to choose the path of ministry? What keeps him going? And how can others get involved, especially when the work is so heavy and the needs are so great? Andrew, welcome back to Rainmakers.
Thank you, Paul. Nice to be back.
Andrew, to begin with, what sparked your calling to ministry?
My calling to ministry. That's God ordained. I think there's one day that the Lord had impressed upon my heart, I need to go into ministry. Paul, I made a prayer that you should never make.
What's that?
I said, Lord, I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do it all.
Wow.
What a mistake that was. Because, as I was closing my mouth, Paul, the phone rang.
No way.
And I said, okay, who's this? The person, I picked up the phone and they said, have you considered going to CUC? I said, see what? What's going on here?
Yeah.
God's got me. And now you made a bargain with God. What do I do?
And CUC was Canadian University
Canadian
College,
University College at the time.
which is now Berman University.
I didn't even know where it was, Paul.
Wow.
I had no idea, but obviously this is a divine call.
Yeah.
Why would somebody call me in the middle of the day to tell me about a school for ministry?
And you were living, where were you living?
I was living in Toronto at the time.
Wow.
Struggling with my call,
Yeah.
struggling with ministry. What did God have me to do?
Right.
The call came, I answered that call, and I'm sitting in front of you today.
Wow. We have similar prayers or things that we have said to God for that. So now, how did you get involved into ministries of compassion and justice?
That's a long question.
Okay.
But the thing that I've thought about that question. I was pastoring at a church,
Hmm.
just doing ministry, just finished my MDiv, came in as a youth pastor.
Yeah.
Um, I was in one of there's 13 target areas in the city of Toronto that are high violence areas that
Hmm.
the city targets and they think about. Um, while I was there, something happened that was tragic. A young man lost his life.
Okay.
And as a result of him losing his life, as a pastor, the family asked me to do a funeral. I think everybody knows the story at that point.
I think I remember that
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
While I was doing the funeral for this young man who had been tragically murdered,
Yeah.
someone else's life was taken in the front of the church steps while we were doing the funeral.
Wow.
At that time, there was only one other church in North America that had ever happened to.
Really.
I was catapulted now
Hmm.
into this media stream. But the one thing that happened with all of that melee wasn't what being catapulted into media,
Yeah.
was God opening my eyes to what was happening in my community. Well,
Mhm.
I didn't even realize that after that incident, I said, wow, wow,
Yeah.
there have been more and more incidents in my community surrounding the church. How come I hadn't noticed?
Right.
I was doing ministry within the church, but was I seeing what was happening outside of the
Yeah.
church?
Yeah.
For me, that was my divine call.
Right.
Everything changed. I said, God, I hear you.
Hmm.
I got involved in community groups. I knew every group.
Yeah.
I knew every community group. I joined every group. I was engaged. I was involved. Sign me up.
Yeah.
It's like the scales fell off my eyes, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden, wow, what an awakening to what was really going on around me.
Right.
So at that point, I knew God had said, Andrew, this is your ministry.
Right.
And that was my first, for me personally,
Yeah.
my first heartfelt step into community in a way like never before.
Yeah. I still remember seeing the news stories of that on there. And I think I saw you on the news there as
Yeah,
yeah, being interviewed. But that was a shocker to see that happen where somebody was killed at a funeral
at a
to
funeral
do that.
in
So,
front of the church.
yeah.
I mean, we had bullets went through the windows,
Yeah.
the doors. It was traumatic. But for me, that was my calling.
Yeah.
I knew then, God, yes,
Mhm.
community. And I have not turned back. I tell people, I do community. That's who I am.
Nice.
And
Nice.
that is why it's a part of my heart, my soul, my being.
Yeah.
Whatever church I go to,
Yeah.
I will be doing community. If the church doesn't want to do community, that's the church's issue. I will be doing community.
Good. Good. And just letting you know, I grew up in one of those 13 communities.
So you know what
In
I'm
the Jane
talking about.
Finch corridor. I was just it was walking distance to Jane Finch, and one of my good buddies just lived right at the corner of Jane Finch, who is now a police officer for
Wow.
Toronto. and ministers to people in need. And he
Wow.
wants to bring a good image of policing to the community. And he loves community policing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's his work. And I want to have him on the show one day.
Oh,
So
the
yeah,
beat cop is the most integral part of the police force.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember Chief Blair telling us,
yes,
being on the street,
yeah,
you know the people,
yeah.
you know what's happening, and you build
That's
that
right.
trust relationship. That's why it's just a joy to work with them
Yeah.
on a regular
If you
basis.
stay in your car and just drive by, you got to get out of your car. You got to
You
get.
have to
Yeah.
know the people, and that's what community does for us.
Yes.
Community lets us know, so we can worship in a building. And here's the
Right.
honest truth: you can worship in that building and never know your community,
Right. Yeah.
never make an impact, never make
Yeah.
drive in and drive out,
Yeah.
but never know your community.
I call those churches a country club because they're there for themselves, not for the
Not
community.
for the
And
community.
I think my belief is if a church is not there for the community, lock the doors. We need to be there for the community. So, how has your personal faith evolved through working with people society often forgets, like inmates or refugees?
Wow. Working in the prisons and those people have forgotten. I can remember one day I was at church.
Yeah.
So I was standing in the church and I was in the church foyer and a young man came up to me and he said, Pastor King, do you remember me? I
Mm.
said, I have no idea. You know, so many people meet us.
Right.
So I'm trying to rack my brain. Where do I know this young man from?
Yeah.
He said, Pastor King, don't you remember me? Trying to rack my brain. He pulls me aside over in the corner. He says, at Toronto West detention. Oh, shh, shh, because understanding
Yeah.
we have to be careful. We can't let anyone else know where he's come from or what he's about.
Right.
That same young man I did programs with inside the church.
Wow.
He searched me out. Because remember, we can't tell them where we come from or what we're associated with.
Hmm.
But he searched me out, found me in the church.
Yeah.
That same young man was baptized in the
Oh,
Seventh-day Adventist church.
awesome.
That same young man now is
Yeah.
an apprenticeship plumber,
Nice.
married with children.
Nice.
People need to understand it's not that we go in
Yeah.
with that intention to make that difference.
Yeah.
But when you go in, you do make that difference. You change young people's lives.
Yeah.
And just by being there, what you're saying to them is, you care.
Yeah.
They matter.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how important it is when society has forgotten someone,
Hmm.
push them behind the bars.
Yeah.
But when you go in there and you share the love of God with them, they say, wow, somebody really does care about me.
Yeah.
And that story always touches my heart. Plus, so many other stories of individuals who have made a mistake,
Hmm.
but when they come out, turn their lives around
Yeah.
and give their lives over to God. You know,
Yeah.
Paul, I wonder how many more people are waiting inside of cells,
Right.
waiting inside of prisons
Yeah.
for a visit,
Yeah.
for someone to come in and to share the love of God with them so that
Right.
their lives can be turned around and they can
Amazing.
follow the track that God has for
Yeah.
them.
I'm going to tell a little story here. 17 years old, I was going to public school. Our law class went to Osgoode Hall in Toronto
Hmm.
to see a few court cases. There were four men in the prisoner's box that had held up a variety store, and it was an interesting court case that was going on. They were found guilty.
Mm.
But a few years later, I'm at a Christian youth function in Toronto with one of our churches, and I turn around, and one of the guys that was
No
there
way.
standing there, found the Lord because somebody went into the jail or prison and lifted Jesus up, came out and was baptized and brought into the church. So I
Amen.
was scared at first because I couldn't
You
forget
know,
this
yeah,
guy.
right.
But then I heard this story and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And both you and I know of stories of large profile people that have
Mhm.
been in the news that have come to know Jesus
Jesus.
and their lives have been totally changed. Like, we don't want to mention names, but we do know of a mutual person that had committed awful crimes.
Yes.
But when they came to know Jesus, they became changed and transformed. And now do the work of Jesus going out to reach other people in the same thing.
Amen.
So, oh,
You,
that's amazing. I love hearing those stories,
you
Andrew.
can't minimize the power of the Holy Spirit when He gets to work and changes someone's heart
Yeah.
because God's forgiven us
Mhm.
for so many things
Yeah.
and they can be forgiven. They just need to understand Jesus loves them too, the way that we love.
Yes, yes. So you work with getting Christians into prisons or jails to do prison ministry. What's the process somebody has to do in order to get involved in that?
First thing is you need to be committed to doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Um, I remind people that if you want to go inside, they've already been disappointed outside.
Mm,
So I don't want to tell everybody to come in, hey, come on and join prison ministry.
right.
That's not what it's about. The commitment has to be a long-term commitment.
You're talking about years.
Years
Yes.
that you're going to go in and then you're going to show up every day.
Yeah.
Because remember, I don't think people understand this. They're waiting to see when you're not going to show up.
Mm,
But if you keep coming
yeah.
and you keep coming and you keep building that relationship,
Yeah.
after a while they say, well, you're authentic.
Right.
It's amazing how astute these people in prison are. They know you, they can read you,
Mm,
and they know whether you're there for a real thing or not.
right.
But once your heart is involved in it,
Yeah.
then what we do a training for you at the conference level, or we call it Prison 101.
Yeah.
And then once you're trained on the Ontario Conference side, you have to go into the institution and be approved by the institution,
Right.
right? And be
Yeah.
passed by the institution to come into the institution.
Yeah.
At that point, also, there's some checks and balances that you need to go through how you behave, what you say, even to the clothes that you wear, Paul.
Really.
Especially when you're going into the female side or what you're doing, how you present yourself.
Yeah.
All of these things you have to be considerate of and understand before you walk into a prison.
Hmm.
We don't want to do harm, we want to do good.
Yeah.
And we don't want anyone to be harmed. So there's a lot of instruction. But once the instruction's gone and you get to go in, man, what a joy it is
Yeah.
to meet someone's life and change that person's life.
Hmm.
And the most amazing thing, well, I should say this, a lot of young people, unfortunately, are incarcerated.
Right.
And they're at that point in their lives where you can actually make such a difference, as the stories that we have shared,
Yeah.
that you can help to turn that person's life around
Mm,
and they take a different path.
amazing.
What a blessing it
Yeah.
is
So
to do
when a
ministry
person
that way.
gets out of jail or prison, they actually have a home, a church, a community that can surround them and help them.
Well, we can't connect with you because of what's happening.
Right.
But you're introduced to the point that you can come out. They do have halfway houses.
Yeah.
We are working in the Ontario Conference to build a reintegration center.
Nice.
And the purpose of the reintegration center is to help people who come out
Yeah.
that they don't reoffend.
Nice.
Unfortunately, as you come out, there's a lot of challenges:
Yeah.
housing, employment.
Yeah.
How are you going to get back into society?
That's right.
Reconnecting with your family.
Yeah.
So we want to help prisoners or previous inmates, reoffenders. They
Hmm.
call them returning citizens.
Yes.
And I think that's a proper term, returning citizens to be successful so they don't become reincarcerated, they
Right.
become citizens
Yeah.
productive within the society.
That's amazing. And I've gone into minimum security
Mhm.
prisons to do prison ministries, but I just got approved to up to maximum
Okay.
to go in. So I'm very happy about that. And I do
Yeah,
have
you're happy about going into prison, Paul?
well, yes, because I'm going to go visit some friends.
Okay, okay.
You know, that I've been, my childhood, my early education in high school. I have friends that are in prison. My
Wow,
brother was in jail for a drunk driving charge,
wow,
and he told me what that was like, and it's lonely in there. And it's tough. I have another friend in the United States that's in a holding prison to get placed, whether medium or maximum security,
wow,
and he's fighting for his life right now.
wow,
He's going through a very hard time. We're praying for him till he gets his placement, then he can be a little bit safer. But it's
wow.
tough.
It's tough.
Canadian prisons are a little bit gentler, but it's still tough. It's not a situation you want to go into. And so they'll look at whoever goes in there quite. So if you have a past criminal history, can you do prison ministries?
It will depend. We would have to look at your situation, your circumstances.
Right.
Um, One of the persons I work with, the prison ministry coordinator, Pastor Carlton Ralston,
Yes.
has been doing it about 20 years.
Yeah.
So we do an analysis. We work with the chaplains to find
Okay.
out. Most likely, if it's been a serious offense, you may not be able to go into
Okay.
the prison. You may have to
Yeah.
do ministry outside.
Right.
I also want to tell people it's not just visiting inside. There's other ministries that you can do for prisoners.
Yeah.
You can do prison ministry to the prisoner, the family.
Yeah.
You can do ministry to the children.
Yes.
You can write letters of mentorship. Here, one of the federal penitentiary is asking
Hmm.
the prisoners, Paul, are asking, could you have people write us letters?
Really.
And we're trying to work right now to get that
Yeah.
program up and running,
Yes.
where we would write letters of hope to people who will not be
Mm.
coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
They refer to them as long haulers, so they're in for
Yep.
20 or 30 years. But can you imagine that people within these institutions are reaching out and even
Hmm.
saying, "Hey, don't forget about me.
Yeah.
Send me a word." So
Nice.
there are other. It's not just going in. The children of the prisons you can do ministry through.
Yeah.
They called Angel Tree. There's families. They have Christmas parties that you can buy gifts. There are so
Nice.
many ways that we, as a families of ministry, can help people who are incarcerated to feel complete,
Yeah.
back into wholeness, and to help their families.
Both you and I have a youth ministries background,
Hmm.
and me education, so I care about young people. But when a father or mother goes into prison, that kid is feeling neglected.
Yes.
I just talked to a person recently whose father took his life when he was very young. And he said, I grew up without a positive male figure. And he says, so I go around now to those men that have made a difference in my life. And on Father's Day, I go thank them. And
Mhm.
so we need to stand in the gap. And there's so many retired men and women that can stand in the gap for a lot of these kids. So I love what you're doing there, Andrew, trying to get people more involved into prison ministries because there's so much need. And you said it's not just the person in prison, it's
There's
the
a family.
family
There's a
outside
family
that's
outside.
heavily affected by that.
It's a stigma behind yeah, where's your father? Oh, they're on a trip. No, they're in prison.
They're in prison.
So this
Right.
child is, like you said, is going through so many psychological issues.
Yeah,
How do they adjust to all of that?
right.
Living with that stigma.
Yeah,
We can help.
yeah.
So we're not just limited to one aspect. The difference
Yes.
is get involved, be willing to help, get engaged, and make a difference in someone's life.
So, Andrew, since you're dealing with hardcore issues,
Yes.
sometimes hardcore situations and hardcore people, when you feel discouraged, what personal routines or habits help you stay grounded in your mission?
Well, for me, number one, my family is my
Right.
grounding point. I was saying to somebody the other day, when everything goes wrong, I go home.
Good.
I close
Good.
my door. I say, why? Because it's a safe place for me.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
my spouse, with my children. I can't share all the details, but I can sit down and feel comfortable. I can pray with them.
Yeah.
They can help me through the difficulties of those things. There was one point I will share with you in this time where I had to seek some professional help.
Mm,
And the counselor turned to me and said, you need to talk to somebody.
yeah.
You have been through a lot.
Wow.
Don't dissuade it. It's important for us that when we've been going through these things and when you're being challenged with these things each and every day,
Yeah.
that you debrief,
Yes.
that you talk to someone,
Yeah.
you get some. It was so um, invigorating and such a relief
Mm,
when I sat down and talked with the counselor and they said, "You all right now?"
yeah.
And all we did was talk, just like what you and I doing, Paul.
Right. Right.
We just talked for a bit of it. So when things get really, really, really heavy, I suggest if it's becoming overwhelming, instead of burning out,
Yeah.
get help.
Nice.
Get
I'm
help.
glad you say that because sometimes we're afraid, the generation we grew up with,
Yes.
that wasn't readily available to us, or we made fun of people that needed help. And today, now it's a little bit more open. I should say a lot more open
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
you can feel secured in going to get extra help.
And our
Yeah.
families, a strong family
Yeah.
really helps you to ground you in ministry.
Yeah.
Um, well, my girls,
Yes.
and many times that I would carry them out in a church environment, a safe environment,
Yeah.
to be in ministry with me, to help me.
Mm,
Whenever I'm doing something that I can engage my family with and support,
right.
they're there with me. So that if I'm speaking to them, they understand what I'm going through. They
Right.
understand some of those challenges.
Yeah.
That's existed. Your colleagues in ministry are a great support. But
Hmm.
sometimes you got to pick up the phone and call the one that you can talk to and say, hey, I had a rough day today. I'm going through this.
Yeah.
We sit down and we pray about it.
Right.
Those are the things that help you to keep focused
Yeah.
on what you're doing. Keep grounded,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, that's encouraging. I'm glad you opened up that door to seek help outside because sometimes we carry huge burdens, especially pastors. Sometimes people will now burden on them, and they have no one to go to outside of their spouse. And so sometimes the
Yeah.
spouse, carries her heavy burdens too.
Yes.
And we should understand that there's help even for pastors,
There's help.
even for teachers,
Yes.
even for people that are reaching
Yes.
in
Yes.
prison
Yes.
ministries. Yeah. You mentioned Possibility Ministries briefly last time. Could you unpack how the church is serving those with disabilities, especially the deaf and blind communities?
Oh man, Possibility Ministries is a powerful ministry, Paul. Just got back from blind camp.
Awesome. Awesome.
It was an amazing time,
Good.
and I'm glad I'm back here with you because
Yes.
one of the blind campers, who's not a Seventh Day Adventist but is a Christian,
Yeah.
shared with me something I just want to share with you.
Okay.
Um, she said, "I want to hear about the church." I
Mhm.
said, "Okay, well, what do you want to hear about?" No, I want to hear about your church. I want to hear about the Inceptions. Paul, she wanted to hear about Ellen White
Wow.
from the pioneers
Yeah.
all the way up to now. She wanted to hear how our church works, why we're doing ministry at this level,
Yeah.
how long have we been doing it. And then, Paul,
Yeah.
this is the part for youth ministry. She said, "Who are these children?" I
Mhm.
said, "What do you mean? Who are the camp staff here?" And I said, "Well, they're our children." She says, "But these ones are amazing."
Yeah.
And then her statement, this is her statement, not mine.
Mhm.
She said, "Are these children the creme de la creme of the Seventh Day Adventist Church?" Paul, I was so proud.
Wow.
I said, "No, these are our children. And every one of our children that you go see going through our system is just like these children."
Amazing.
And you know
Amazing.
what I'm saying.
Yep.
Every one of our children are all the same.
Yeah.
They can speak about their faith, they live their faith, they're kind, they're compassionate, they're thoughtful. She was just blown away that
Yeah.
this whole establishment is here for Blind Church.
Yeah.
You guys do this for the blind community. Yes, we see the importance
Mhm.
of reaching out and making a difference in people's lives.
Oh, wow.
So camp was just amazing.
Yeah.
Camp was just amazing. We also have, the hearing impaired.
Yeah.
We're trying our best to expand that ministry as well and to do more in the area of interpretation.
Mhm.
Physically, those who are physically impaired, we're trying now to reach into our churches.
Mhm.
Are your buildings prepared? Are you ready to meet a community who may have disabilities, who have issues? How are you going to accept them in? How are you going to make them comfortable?
Yeah.
From the greeter to the pulpit.
Wow. Wow.
So Possibility Ministries is the right name. There are so many possibilities
Mhm.
available for us to do ministry
Yeah.
to other people, and they appreciate it. I mean, that experience for me, that
Yeah.
person appreciated that we were doing ministry, and all we were doing is ministry, Paul.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. It's
Yeah.
nothing new for us and our kids. They make us so proud.
Mm.
So I just wanted to share that with you. You know, you've worked
Yep.
with these young people over and over again. You know exactly what I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about,
Yeah.
and the staff of people. And it's nice to know that they're appreciated for being themselves.
Yeah.
They did nothing special.
There's a lot going on with natural disasters and things like that in our
Yes.
communities. We have a smoke warning because of the fires in Saskatchewan right now. What gives you hope right now in the midst of everything that's happening in our communities, from the crime to this and that? What gives you hope to carry on?
We have to carry on.
Mm.
We are Jesus' hands. We are Jesus' feet. He has blessed us with so many resources, with so much talent. How could we not but give back to the community?
Right.
We've received.
Yeah.
We've received so that we can give to others. We haven't received so we can store it up and
Right.
put it away.
Yeah.
We've received so that we can share with other people. And
Mm.
you know the most amazing thing about God's mathematics. God's mathematics don't make sense. The more we give, the more we receive. And
Right.
that's what blesses us. So
Yeah.
with all of the challenges, lifestyle challenges, the issues that are going on within our community at large, those who may be incarcerated and need to come out, all of the challenges, Paul, I know that God is going to provide us with the necessary resources to continue to do ministry. As
Nice.
long as we are faithful in doing what He's expected us to do,
Yeah.
God will be faithful in doing what He will do for us.
And that's basically Jesus' ministry on earth. He was
That's it.
there to help people.
That's it.
He mingled with people
Right.
to show them the Father.
That's it.
Yeah. And if we stay locked away in our houses and our business and our corporations and try to keep it all to ourselves, one day it might be gone.
Eventually it will.
Yeah. So, Andrew, thank you for joining us one more time on Rainmakers. We appreciate what you're doing, and we'll pray that God will continue to open up the floodgates of heaven to make you continue what you're doing.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to share the story and the ministries. Thank
All
you,
right.
Paul.
Awesome. Thank you. Have you been moved by this story and feel inspired to help us to continue bringing these impactful moments to life? Your support is essential for us to keep showcasing the volunteers making a difference. If you'd like to contribute to the production of Hope Channel Canada and its ministries, it's simple. Visit agentsofhope.ca, where you'll find various ways to donate by credit, debit, Google Pay, Apple Pay, or send an e-transfer to Agents of Hope at hopetv.ca. Prefer mailing a check? Send it to Hope Channel Canada at 1148 King Street East, Oshawa, Ontario, L1H 1H8. For a more personal connection, call us at 1 855 4 HOPE TV. That's 1 855 446 7388. Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube channel, Hope Channel Canada, and click the notification bell so you'll never miss an episode. You can also watch the show on multiple platforms: hopetv.ca, cable TV, the Roku app, and the Hope Channel app. Are you looking for answers to life's most profound questions? Hope Study provides free online Bible courses that cover essential topics, all at your own pace and from the comfort of your own home. One of our enriching courses, The Unlimited Power of Prayer, invites you to discover the remarkable world of prayer. Here, talking with God is not just a boring routine, but a sincere conversation with the source of love and wisdom. This study will deepen your understanding of prayer's incredible power to help you build a stronger connection with God. Signing up is easy and completely free at hopestudy.ca. Begin your journey today and feel free to share this valuable resource with anyone else seeking answers. Uncover life's answers. Visit hopestudy.ca and start your journey today.